It was uninspired. You know, we didn't have the energy that we have been having the last couple of weeks. I don't know why, what it was, but that will, that attitude, the last couple of weeks that we've played with, we didn't have that today.
You being a defensive specialist, does the way you performed on defense, does that hurt worse, especially considering you'd been playing better?
Well, losing hurts, whether it's on defense, offense, special teams. Losing hurts, and then the fact that we didn't play with the kind of energy that we have been playing with, that was disappointing.
Aaron Wilson.
Hey, Romeo, was there any thought given to taking Deshaun Watson out, and what was the nature of the exam that he underwent when he missed the play? Was it his elbow or was it his hand?
He got hit on the funny bone. You know how those funny bones in the elbow, they boom, banged the nerve for a minute, but he came off and worked it around and got the feeling back. And so we put him back in the game.
With the duress he was under, not having Brandon Cooks, but also just the hits he was taking, if you could just talk about the situation that he was facing today.
Well, we didn't play well enough to protect him. We didn't protect him well enough, so he took some hits. And we don't like to see him take hits. But hits are part of the game, and so he's the competitor, and he wants to try to win every play, every snap, every game, and so that's what we're trying to do, particularly when we got behind, pretty early in the game.
Sarah Barshop.
Romeo, what was the conversation you had with Deshaun after he came out of the game for that one play?
I told him to make sure he protected himself as we went down the line.
Do you worry at all about his protection the rest of the season and making sure that he can make it through the season in one piece?
Well, if we let him get hit as many times as he did today, there would be reason to worry. But, the last couple of weeks, there's been better protection, better attitude all the way around. And so if we can get back to what we've been doing, playing with the energy and effort that we've had the last several weeks, then we will not worry as much.
Aaron Reese.
Hey, Romeo, very few of Trubisky's passes traveled more than 10 yards downfield. Was there anything you guys could have done to take away some of those shorter completions, made him kind of have to prove himself further downfield and make life a little bit harder on him?
You know what? We were playing a little bit more zone. And so a lot of times when you play zone, there are soft spots in the zones, and they were hitting those soft spots. And when they hit those spots in the zones, what you have to do is you have to rally up and be strong tacklers to get them down on the ground, discourage them from, making those throws. And we didn't do that well enough today.
Brian T. Smith.
Romeo, you guys were down 37 at halftime, and then it's 33-7 going into the fourth quarter. Did you consider at all taking Deshaun out of that game, especially when he was taking those really hard hits?
Well, hey, this game is called football, and there are hard hits that occur in the game. And when you're at the quarterback, you're going to take some of them. But we decided to leave him in the game and let him finish the game.
Thank you.
Mark Berman.
Romeo, y'all got down 14-0. You cut it in half to 14-7. You get a stop. And Deshaun, after that stop, Deshaun takes the safety. How much did that sequence impact the game?
Well, you know what? Anytime that you have it close and then you give up a play that puts points on the board for them and then gives them the ball back, that makes it more difficult. I think after that safety, our defense came out and I don't know if they held them to a field goal, but they didn't score a touchdown, so that was a mini victory in itself. But you have to react to what happens in the game. And as the game went along, they got too far ahead and we were not as competitive as we needed to be.
Two more. John McClain.
Romeo, how do you think Trubisky played?
Well, he he played decently, to tell you the truth, because he was completing the shorter passes, moving the sticks. And even though he didn't have to go deep, he took what was open for him. And so you got to give him credit for that.
Last question, Aaron Wilson.
Hey, Romeo. With the injury to Brandon Cooks, was that something where you were expecting even as early as Saturday that he might not be able to go, or was that something more that overnight you kind of felt like, it would be a good idea for him to play?
Well, during the course of the week, we worked on him and tried to get him ready, and he wanted to try to play, but as it turned out, he wasn't able to play. So we had to elevate some other guys.
And the personnel that you had, how tough was that to not have David Johnson and Brandon and then have to plug in so many other people? And do you have an update on David and his testing and his status on the reserve COVID-19 list, if he is a positive or a close contact? Thank you.
It was close contact. That's why he was on the list. And hopefully he'll be back because it's a 5-day deal. And so he should be back getting ready for the next game. And, when you lose your ability guys and then you try to replace them as best you can. And so like Buddy came in and did a pretty decent job running the ball today. And so that's what we have to do.
Great. Thank you so much, Romeo. JJ.